Welcome back to Inverted Aviators RC. Today we are unveiling something truly special for the first time ever. A custom micro head tracking system integrated into a 1.2 meter F4U Corsair from EFlite. And trust me, you've never seen anything like this before. Now we know we're not the first channel to put a head tracker into a warbird, shout out to the legends at MotionSick who paved the way. But we're here to push the boundaries. We've taken two 1-gram servos, a $30 analog camera, and a couple of 3D printed parts to build something truly groundbreaking. A system that fits entirely within the stock canopy bubble, making it sleek and compact. Our micro setup delivers a massive 200-degree field of view, and we didn't just stop at visuals. We've added a custom 3D printed dashboard that lets us monitor our gear status, flap position, and even the remaining battery voltage in real time. And let's not forget about the replica M2 Browning machine gun lights to give our Corsair that authentic battle-ready feel. You see what we mean? This project is so much fun, and we're only getting started. In a moment, we'll dive into the tech behind this beast, but first, let's check out how the Maiden Flight went.
Got a little grassy runway today, but can't complain. Record the goggles. That would be sad if I didn't. Might be hard to see, but there are lights here to indicate the flaps. I can also just see them. So that's good. Let's give this thing a go. Up in the air. I'm going to try to keep it around me. Let's relax here for a second. Safe should be off. That might have been what was kind of screwing me up a little bit. I'm going to keep throttle up because this is not a glider. I need to breathe. You probably see my hands are just shaky as all get out. But at the end of the day, we gotta fly a plane. The other way. I'm gonna try to do a pass by us. I need to breathe. To be honest, I'm super nervous because this is a super fun project to work on, and I probably could have waited until tomorrow where it was less windy, but I just couldn't help it. So my left thumb is just crazy twitchy, but I'm gonna keep just doing loops around here because there's no reason to be nervous. Let's see, I can check down. Voltage reader still is a little iffy. That's probably because it's super bright out. But I'm gonna just keep doing loops. Try to fly it smooth. I gotta check and see if let's try to keep it flying smooth here. You can check the flaps go in and out. See that with the head tracker. You aren't able to see the gear or you see the gear. So there are lights, little indicators right there, but it is too bright. So I'll maybe have to fix that at some point. Also with the lights show the gear and the flaps, which I'm assuming I will show in depth before this flight. But I'm going to put flaps and gear down and I'm going to try to land it, which means going real wide. Got a whole runway to work with. A crosswind. And I'm going to go around. I'm going to start lower. There's no reason to attempt this. I'm going to go lower, I'm going to take it easy. I wonder if landing the other way would be a better call. It feels like I speed up as I get over here more. all right. I keep on pump faking myself. Oh my God. All right, that's a head tracking Corsair. That's the flaps down, flaps up. Right here, you can see the lights. You can't see them, but they work. There's the ailerons. I can look all around. You'll probably see this thumb the entire flight shaking because I am nervous about this plane just because it's a passion project. I don't know if you can tell, I am so excited that not only did this take off and fly, but it landed. I'm gonna fly this more so my hands don't get as shaky. I'm gonna fly it later at night so you can actually see the voltage reader, which again, it's just too bright. The lights, which they're a green and a blue. Again, I'll show them later, but you can see everything is working. I am so happy that this is actually landed, and we'll stick around for more videos like this because I love flying this plane.
Before we get into the tech of this plane, we've noticed something interesting in our channel stats. A lot of you are returning viewers, which is awesome. We love seeing all of you back. But here's the thing, most of our views are coming from people who aren't subscribed yet. So if you've been enjoying our content and keep coming back for more, consider hitting that subscribe button because it really helps the channel grow and it allows us to keep bringing you the videos that we love making. Thanks for the support. Oh, and one more thing, thanks to all your amazing support, we're excited to announce that we have enough subscribers to offer monthly memberships. We want to be super clear, none of our regular content will ever be locked behind a paywall, and we're all about keeping our core content accessible to everyone. That being said, we're working on ideas for special perks to offer these members, and we love your input. Whether it's early access, exclusive behind-the-scenes updates, or something else entirely, we want to make sure that the memberships feel rewarding without taking away from the overall experience for anyone. And rest assured, every penny from these memberships will go straight back into improving the channel, whether it's upgrading our gear, adding more content, or even buying new planes. So feel free to drop your suggestions below, and thank you all again for being such an awesome community. We couldn't have done it without you. So with that being said, let's get into the tech of this plane. Let's dig into all the technology that goes into this battery hatch. We're going to start off with a detachable canopy because there's a lot going on in here, and so I added little magnets on here and on the insides, and so it comes on and off really easily. Also, side note, I dipped this in Windex to clean it and then a floor cleaner to really smooth out all the micro cracks and make this a lot clearer. So I'll release a little tutorial on how to do that later, but it's just a little extra step you can do to make this plastic a lot easier to see through. So then we've got the head tracking system, two micro 1 gram servos here. Everything here will be linked in the description, but it's a pretty standard setup. Just the pan and tilt servos are here, and then there's little 3D printed parts. We try to make them as thin and as light as possible because they are moving around a camera and they're supposed to be super small, but there is a 3D printed part arm so that we can swivel the whole upper section. And then there's another 3D printed part that latches onto this camera. Now this is just a normal Wolfwhoop WT03 camera. I just instead cut off the VTX from the camera. You can see there's wires that come off here and it routes through, and then the VTX attaches right back here on the plane. But that camera is completely normal. It's again the $30 camera, super simple with the VTX included. Next, we've got a little 3D printed floor just so everything fits in nicely. And also when you take out that pilot who's normally sitting in this cockpit, it kind of rips up the paint. So I just want everything to look clean. So I 3D printed a really thin tapered flooring, and that way everything just looks nice. There will be modifications done in the future to make that flooring do a few different things, but for now, this is Mark 1. This is how it's looking. And then moving on to the dashboard, we've got the normal voltage reader. I've done the same thing in the UMX Evo, but it's just a voltage reader that connects to the balance lead of your battery, and you're able to see how much voltage you have left. Normally, I've had a little piece of tape with a piece of black marker over it, but you can do it without it just as well. And then here we've got the dashboard. You can see there's little holes here for lights, and there is really little 1.8 millimeter LEDs, a blue and a green, blue for flaps, green for gear, and that just pokes through, and you can see in these holes here. Now, if it is super bright out, these LEDs are pretty dim. That was by design, so you're not bothered by the lights, rather you can just see them. But if you're flying at noon, it might be hard to see all this lights, so flying at dusk is preferred. So that's all that's happening on the top side here. You might be wondering, well, how the heck does this all work? There is a little bit of a bird's nest underneath, but I can explain every part of it. First off, this is the VTX wire that comes from the camera. it connects into the back where the VTX is, and then it can stay out of the way. I'm going to clean these wires up at some point, but at the moment, that's what we're dealing with. This is the balance lead that goes to the voltage reader. As you can see, it just comes out through here. And then since this is the battery hatch on top, I can just plug this square into the battery. And this part up here, there is a secondary 6-channel receiver because there is just way too much going on for the regular stock 6-channel receiver to handle everything. So I got a Radio Master 6-channel receiver. Now, why did I go Radio Master? Well, the Radio Master Zorro, which is the transmitter that I use to fly this plane, has an internal and an external receiver slot. The internal receiver is ELRS, which can talk to this receiver. The external module is Spectrum. So that the Spectrum connects to the normal receiver. ELRS connects to this receiver. And that way I can get 6 more channels out of everything. So going through the channels, channel 1 is the guns, which is obviously on the plane side. Can't see it here, but I do plug that into that top channel. Then channels 2 and 3 are the pan and tilt servos. Channel 4 by itself powers the camera. I could Y-lead that from some other channel, but I figured I've got a spare channel. Might as well use it for power. Channels 5 and 6 are those green and blue lights. Again, I could Y-lead them from the actual servos in the plane, but I figured I have 2 extra channels here. Might as well use them to keep everything nice and compact. And then instead of drawing power directly from the normal plane battery, I wanted to use this little 2S battery. Since everything here is relatively low voltage, just a normal beta FPV 2S battery works just fine. And then I've got that wired into a 5-volt regulator that sits right in here, so I can always have a clean 5-volt output coming from this 2S battery no matter what is happening. So if you paid attention, you'll notice that there's actually 3 spare channels technically, because I could Y-lead everything from the actual servos instead of making the channel. I am actually going to put those to use at some point in the future. I've got plans for them. I won't spoil it now, but this is how the whole canopy comes together. If you're really curious on how this works or how I built it, there will be videos coming out of me going through the whole process, because I made sure to record everything, because I'm probably going to break this in the future and I'm going to want to know how to put it back together. So just stick around if you want to see some more tutorials and more flights, because I did go flying the next day when it was not windy and it was at dusk, and boy, does this look beautiful in the air. I can't wait to add more things to it. And like I said earlier, if you're liking this content and liking all the building stuff, feel free to like and subscribe. It helps the channel, it helps us grow. Thank you so much for watching. Stick around for more content like this, and we really appreciate the support.
Oh my gosh, this was fun. Also, can you see the guns? I don't have any roll on this camera, but they'd be right there. Well, there's a tutorial on the guns, there's a tutorial on the head tracker. There's going to be a tutorial on how to make this plane yourself if you want to add head tracking into your own plane. It's all pretty simple. Hopefully you're not as nervous as I was flying this plane, as you can see in my thumb. But I'm going to be honest, some people say that they're not nervous flying a new plane. I am. I get nervous. So whatever kind of flyer you are, just know I get nervous. It's okay to get nervous. Thank the Lord. Let's get this plane. It flies. It flew, and I landed it. That was probably one of the ugliest flights, but that's okay. This plane's in one piece. Oh, that's just about the opposite flight you could have. Oh my God, I am so stoked. I can't wait to fly this when it's darker, so that I can see the lights and the voltage reader and just everything. I've got to be not as nervous. I don't know what I've been that nervous for, and like thumb shaky.